I can think of only one gift sufficient to honor men like this. We can assure this man, and we can assure every man who wears our uniform, that their cause is a good cause, that the principles they stand for are sound principles, that the battle they are fighting deserves their bravery. To back a commitment honorably given, that is a good cause. To shield a nation from aggression, that is a good cause. To defend men against coercion and intimidation, that is a good cause.
And how was that war different from the other wars that you were in? Because it wasn't always a popular war at home. And how did that impact you?
On my third tour, Michelle took off from home. Her and her girlfriend took off. They were going to catechism, and they took off. And I got a flight into Alameda, and there's an area up there called Haight Ashbury. It's strictly hippie. And I went down there looking for her. And a couple of guys up there said something nasty about baby killers. And I told them, no. I said, I give that up. I give up. I said, I'm after guys like you. And I'd come toward them, and they'd take off. I was in full uniform, all my ribbons on. I was spit shine, ready for parade. And I said, no, I give that baby killing up. I come after guys like you. My first tour, I call it a tour in Vietnam. We're not in Vietnam, it was actually in Laos. There was a place down Laos called Udorn. And we were, quote, quote, we were called advisors. We were not allowed to carry any weapons. I always did, but it was forbidden. We used to have flight suits on, just like the llamas have. And they were highly indignant that we had orange flight suits, that they thought we were trying to mock the llamas. And they wrote the government, and they took the flight suits off us and issued us green ones, and we liked them because they were fireproof. And most of the time, this also is, most of the time was CIA flying. Because according to my orders, I was stationed in Japan all this time, but all my 14 months I spent in Udorn. Well, the second tour, we landed at Da Nang. That was quite an experience. The day we landed, it was pouring down rain. We went down to a place called Chulai, place called Dong Ha, the old Vietnamese capital of Way Phu Bai. Then we climbed on a mountain up to Khe Sanh. And it was always WIAs, KI all the time. Never come back empty, always come back loaded. We'd go back full, we'd come back full.
And how did that make you feel when you were carrying so many wounded or?
After a while you get inured to it. It's just a job. I didn't like it because like up at Khe Sanh, when VC overrun it, they took out Echo Company, and the Graves registration come out and help us. I didn't pick the bodies up, but I carried the body bags, and I think we had 72 KIAs on that. And there's a smell you can never get out. And there's only one way that we found to get it out. We'd take a bucket of 115, 145 fuel, and we'd wash the airplane down with it. Then we'd fly with all cargo doors and a skag down and get rid of the smell. But it's got a sickening sweet smell. And
what about on your third tour? You went back yet again, and what was...
And I talk about Wei Fubai. That's the old capital. Every time we took off from the airport, we had to fly over the town. And there's a big Catholic cathedral. And every time we flew over that cathedral, we would always pick up small arms fire. So one day they decided to put a helicopter on one side of the cathedral, one of these Cobras. And the 130s would take off. You have to take right off because we couldn't turn like that. We had to make a gradual turn. And they had a sniper aboard this helicopter. He must have been pretty good because one shot he got that sniper. And they sent the MPs up there. And the pastor of the church was a Vietcong. He was the one that was doing the shooting. Boy, we were all shook up about that. And speaking of Wei Fubai, we landed there one night in the evening, and operations officer asked us if we'd stick around up here because they were trying to get a load to fly down to Da Nang. And we said, all right. And out of nowhere, mortars come. Boy, I mean to tell you, they were zeroing in on the runway to make holes so nobody could land or take off. And then a couple come pretty close to the operations building, so we said, what the hell is coming off? It's a holiday. It's the Vietnam holidays. What is now history refers to as a Tet Offensive. They never let up, boy. I mean, just boom, 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 boom. And I sit there, I had a old World War II M1 carbine. One clip of ammunition in there. It had held 15 rounds. I could see this VC crawling across because the runway was white. And they're all like black PJs. I don't know what they are, but they look like PJs. So I was watching them. I called this old Smitty over there, the crew chief, and I said, watch that guy there. So I went up to the cockpit and I took down my carbine. I put it on a combat thing up there for 200 yards. And I kept watching him, and he come up like this here to look around, and I squeezed one off. And that rifle of mine went click. I charged it off, picked the shell up there. It was dud. 2, 3 more, same thing. So the guy was getting pretty close, about 50 yards away from me, so I said I was going to squeeze. If I squeeze all 15 off, and the first one I hit like that, right, I saw his helmet when it flied off. They had like sun helmets on, and it flipped off.